Are you a parent and do you want free money for your kids, for college, for their future? Well, there's a program called CalKIDS. It's a new program just for California. We're going to talk about it today with myself and with Jason Hamilton, my brother. He's going to be explaining it, going over it. And it's a great program that everyone should know about. Share it with your friends and family before we start. Just make sure to share it with all your friends and family, specifically everyone that's living in California. So without further ado, let's get into it.
What's up, brother? Good to see you, man. How are you today?
I'm doing good. I'm trying to get that beard like yourself right there. You got that full beard. I'm almost there.
Hey, man, this beard is just does its own thing. It's a living being on my face that just does what it wants to do. So I appreciate that. For everyone that hasn't met us, my name is Jason Hamilton. I'm the head of family financial coaching at Avante Latino. I got my brother here, Josh, head of programs. Josh, how you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great. I'm excited to talk about this program that you mentioned to me a couple days ago. So I'm super excited for our students and our family that's watching. If you're watching, please share this video with your families. This is going to be a great topic.
Yeah, if anybody has newborns this year or anybody that's in school already, there's a really good new program that's going to be giving you money to plan for college. I think it's a really cool program, and so we're going to talk about that today. But I think talking a little bit about the idea of planning for college is something we should spend a few minutes on before we get into the details. From what I've seen, student loans are still a pretty big problem for a lot of people. They end up taking on loans in college. I know you just recently graduated a few years ago, but are you still seeing student loans being a pretty big problem for your friends or people you know?
Huge problem. not a big. I would say it's a huge problem because there's not a lack of understanding of what is a loan in the first place, not even just a student loan, just a regular loan. What's interest rates and repaying the loan, understanding that if you just make the minimum payment, if you have a big balance, you're not going to pay it off in 5-10 years.
Yeah, these loans are set up to be paid off in 10 years, but a lot of times that's more than 10 or 20% of people's income. They don't realize that. And then what we see is people going on income-based repayment programs that are set to be a 20-year or 25-year payoff period. And so you're basically going to have maybe your whole working career student loans, And I think there's been a mentality shift where people are like, well, I'm just going to have loans for the rest of my life. It's just part of what life is. And we don't believe that, though, right? I mean, I don't believe that.
No, I don't believe that either.
Yeah, my sister just recently graduated in her master's program. She worked during that time, didn't take any loans. I know a lot of people have graduated without student loans, but I also know a lot of people that just don't really understand, like you said, what they're signing up for. They're 18 years old, they really have no idea. And the school says, hey, you qualify for $20,000 a year. Just go ahead and sign here, we'll give you $20,000. And most times, at least with state schools or UCs, not talking about private schools here, or even a community college, right? You can take loans out if you want to. People end up graduating with 20, 30, 40, 50,000 or more in student loans that somehow they just spent that money on lifestyle, school, Disney passes, when school might have only been $5,000 a year or $10,000 a year. So we've really been wanting to spend some time educating those that are watching this, because I don't think most people really need to take loans out that are part of the community we serve if they have proper planning in place. And I give California a really hard time in general, but I think they've done a good job with this program. I'm really excited to talk about it today. So when it comes to you, Josh, and like what you're seeing with your friends or people that are going into college, what do you think they're getting wrong? Is it the parents' fault for not educating them? Is it the students' fault for not doing research? I mean, what do you think is the real big problem we're seeing here with this loan situation?
I think it's just too easy. I mean, if you try to get a business loan, you're 18 years old and you want to get access to some capital, your business is growing, you start a business, they make it so hard for you, or to buy your first rental property or buy even a car. It's easier to get a student loan for double, triple the amount compared to trying to get access to a line of credit if you started a business, or buy a house, your first house. Student loan, accept, yes? Okay, cool. How much you want it? Okay, there you go. It's literally so simple.
Yeah, and the intention, I feel like the intention of most government programs is good initially, but then they don't always think about the level 2 and level 3 consequences or make adjustments. And they wanted to make it easy to access funding for college so anybody can go, right? The part of the American dream is to own a house, get a college degree. And, you know, there's a lot of evidence showing if you get a college degree, you're generally going to have a higher income than someone that doesn't. Not always, but there is evidence to that. And so they made it so easy. But then the problem is, you know, the cost of college has gone up so much faster than inflation. And it's generally because of the easy money that's there for the students to get. And, you know, I went to the school here called UCI, which stands for Under Construction Indefinitely. And the beauty of that school and the buildings they've built and the student housing, it looks like luxury apartments. I mean, it's really nice. But where's that coming from? It's from the students that are paying higher and higher tuition, that they're taking these loans out that then go to the school. Then the school uses that money to continue to grow and make it more attractive to go to. So I think what we want to do today is share with you a couple of programs or a couple of ways that you can start saving and planning for college, so that ideally, if you're a parent watching this and you have some time until your kids get to school, or if you're a student that's somewhere close to going to college, at least you have some insight on somewhere you can get some funds. Actually, you know, I don't want to call it free money, okay? There's no such thing as free money, but this is a taxpayer-funded program where to you as a student, it's going to be free. So let me pull up these slides here, and let's talk about that a little bit here. All right. So is my screen coming through okay? Can you see it all right? All right, great.
Perfect.
So as a registered investment advisor, I do have to say that this is not financial advice. It's not tax advice. This is for education purposes. I have to get that out of the way. But what we're going to talk about today are two programs. And the programs are different, but they actually are linked together. And the first one is called CalKIDS. Okay, so this is a brand new program, just came out, and it's something that every single parent and every single student should be aware of. And the audience we serve is mostly first and second generation immigrant families. And some families might not have all of their documentation in place yet that might be watching this. But the great news is I did call, and they said everyone should qualify, okay, for the CalKIDS program, which is wonderful. The 529 accounts, you do have to be documented of some sort to qualify for that, but that's okay. We're going to talk about both of them, and everybody watching this today should be able to find some sort of benefit in this particular program. So let's dive in a little bit here. Okay, so I want to start with a little bit about what these programs are. So CalKIDS is a state program that gives children in California a jump start on saving for college. Newborns, so kids born in 2022 and beyond, and eligible low-income public school students are automatically enrolled and given a CalKIDS college savings account with an initial deposit. So if you're in what's considered a low-income school, low-income community, more than likely you already have an account. One thing we'll talk about in a minute is the money will be there for you, but you still have to go in and register your account. And actually you get a bonus for registering your account. So we're going to talk about that a little bit. The data is received from the California Department of Public Health and the California Department of Education. So as it says below, there's no need to apply. There's nothing you have to apply for. There's no requirement that families make of any kind. There's no financial commitment. It doesn't cost you anything. But to access your account and see how much money is there for you, you do have to actually register. So get to that in a second here. So the other account we're going to talk about a little bit today, not too much, but is a 529 account. So have you heard of 529 accounts before, Josh?
I have, but maybe our audience hasn't before. I had definitely heard of it before.
So 529 accounts are a wonderful account, and they're another account that is similar to something like an IRA, which I know you've talked about before. 401ks, I know you talked about that before. A 529 account is an investment account that offers tax benefits when you use it to pay for qualified education expenses. Okay, and when it says a designated beneficiary, what that means is, let's say you're a parent and you would open an account, and your designated beneficiary, that would be your child. Okay. And you can use a 529 account to pay for college. You can use it to pay for anything from kindergarten through 12th grade education, so all the way through high school. So if you have fees that are for private schools, for example, there's opportunities there. There's a little bit of a limitation where K through 12 tuition is limited to $10,000 per year. For college, there's no limit. You can use it as much as you want. But as you can see here, it can also be used to pay for apprenticeship programs. that you might be in, and also student loan repayments. So the benefit of the 529 account is that it's an investment account. And so if you put your money in there, and let's say your kid is, 5 years old and they have 13 years until they start college, it can be a really good account to be putting money in above and beyond this CalKIDS account. And as you'll see in just a moment here, the way the CalKIDS account is set up is they want you to set up a 529 account. And if you set up a 529 account, they'll give you a little bit of extra money. That's why we're talking about it today. But our focus is the 529 account for college. So what are some of the benefits of the CalKIDS program? Well, the first one is, as you mentioned with the student loans, Josh, is like, it's automatic enrollment. The government makes it so easy, it's almost too easy, right? But the thing is, even though it's automatic enrollment, you will still need to register your account. So I have the address right there. If you just go to calkids.org and you click the Get Started button, you'll see right there where to register. It's pretty easy, and we can actually go through that if you want to go through that. But it's automatic, so you don't have to do anything. Another benefit is parents and caregivers can contribute. So you can, if parents or caregivers want to contribute, then you can open an account there. You can also link your accounts, which is a really nice feature. So you can link your 529 account, and in California, they call it the Scholar Share 529 account. And you can link that to your CalKIDS account, and then you can see all your college savings in one place. Very, very easy, very simple to do. And the last thing there is, the biggest benefit is flexible spending. So it can be used for qualified higher education expenses like tuition, your books, your computer equipment, any supplies you might need. And it can be used at thousands of schools across the country and even some abroad, by the way. So you might want to just use this account because in California, a lot of students don't have to pay tuition if they're low income. They go to college for free. They get 2 years of community college for free, and then their next 2 years of, let's say, state school should be covered. But maybe you want to do a study abroad program. This could be some money that you save for that, and then if you put it in there and the money grows because you invest it, then it's tax-free growth, so you don't pay any taxes on this money, and you can use that for studying abroad. Do you know anybody that studied abroad, Josh, that went to school with you, or?
Not specifically in my college, but I do know people in general that did study abroad, and I don't know, man. I feel like that would have been really fun, being able to go study in Europe or South America or something.
Yeah, I feel like I really missed that because I didn't know about it. And by the time I knew about it, it was already like my junior year, and like you're studying abroad is more for the basic classes, Yeah. But I know a lot of people that did that. Sometimes you can study abroad and pay the same tuition, but a lot of times you have to pay a little bit extra. And so you can use this account for paying for those extra expenses you might have to pay for, whether it's tuition or books or whatever else it may be. So I thought that was a really nice benefit when I was doing the research on this.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah, so let's talk a little bit about who qualifies. So who qualifies is anyone who meets what's called the LCFF, so the Local Control Funding Formula Guidelines for Low Income. So I believe in LA County, it's anything below about $80,000 or maybe even $100,000. But the far majority of the students we're serving, the schools we serve through Montebello School District and other areas near East LA should all qualify, no problem. And what's going to happen is you may not have received it yet, or you might have, but each student getting registered into this program should be getting a qualification letter. So if you get a letter in the mail that says CalKIDS on it, you definitely want to open that and make sure you read it, because it's going to tell you that you've been registered in the program. But what we're going to learn in just a moment is if you take a couple extra steps, you can get quite a bit more free money, as we say, from the government to help you fund college. I did make a call there yesterday, and they said both fully documented and undocumented students should qualify in California. So that's a beautiful thing because we do serve quite a bit of the undocumented population, and a lot of times they can't qualify for these programs. But according to the person I spoke to yesterday, they should have no problem with that, which is great. But if you're unsure if you qualify, you should contact CalKIDS, and I have the phone number here for you. It's 888-445-2377. That's Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. And just be sure to have your SSID, which is your statewide student identifier, and student name when you call. That's all you really need. I'm the student identifier. They told me every student should have one. I don't have any kids in school right now, so I'm not 100% sure, but that shouldn't hopefully be too difficult. Anything on that you want to mention, or any things people should be aware of?
Well, the only thing I was like you said, like most of the students that are low income, most of them we serve, like even like would you say people that are receiving, students are receiving like a free or reduced lunch is a perfect indicator for that. Then you most likely, if you have those programs, then most likely you'd qualify for this one.
Yeah, I would say that's probably a for sure if you have that type of program. But even if you don't, I believe it's going to be below $80,000 or $100,000 of household income. So, okay, you know, the average income in Los Angeles is around $80,000. So about half the people or more are going to be qualifying for this at least. So that should be a good sign. Mm-hmm. So how much seed funding do you qualify for? So this is what's interesting. This is new with the program. So if you have a newborn that was born in July or later of 2022, all newborns are going to receive a $25 seed deposit in their CalKIDS account. So automatically $25. One stipulation, as it says down below with a little asterisk, the CalKIDS receives information on newborns approximately 90 days after birth, is registered with the California Department of Public Health. So if you just had a baby last month or like 2 months ago, then it might not show there yet. So give it a little bit of time, but about 90 days after, then you should see that money there once you register. Here's the other thing. You're going to get $25 automatic, but if you register the program through their online portal, so this is what we're talking about today, is you get another $25. So you basically double your deposit just by registering. And you need to register anyways to see what you have in there. So just by following what we're talking about today, you're going to double your money. Okay, that's your seed deposit. And then if you you get another $50 in your CalKIDS account when you link a new or existing ScholarShare 529 college account to your CalKIDS account. So it's very easy. When you go to the site there, calkids.org, it's like step 1, 2, 3. And we can actually go through the site, and I would be happy to do that. But just by doing those things, you're going to get $100. So it's probably going to take you, from what I saw, about 5 to 15 minutes. So that's like making $400 an hour, you know, if you just sign in and get this set up. So I think everybody should do that immediately after watching this. And then here's where it gets interesting, Josh, because like I said, a lot of the kids we're serving are probably going to qualify here for an extra up to $1,500. Okay, most is going to be about $500. But when we have low-income students in public schools between 1st and 12th grade, there is a formula to follow, but eligible low-income students are going to receive a $500 automatic deposit in their CalKIDS account. So that's going to be really nice, because there's actually a lot of research that shows if students have at least $500 saved for college, their chance of enrollment is like way higher, that they're actually going to go and do some sort of program. Mm-hmm. You know, when it comes to college these days, I really recommend students look into what we call the STEM programs, you know, science programs, technology programs, engineering, mathematics. And some of those can be a little harder and take a little longer. So the more money you have saved, the better off you're going to be. Mm-hmm. The second level to get another $500, if there's any students that identify as foster youth. Okay, so there's gonna be quite a few less that are gonna qualify for this, but if there is somebody that does, they're gonna get another $500. That's $1,000 in their account. And then the last one is $500 as a deposit if students are identified as homeless. Okay, so I know that definition has expanded a lot, and you know, just the cost of housing and the cost of rent in California has been a lot of, you know, it's been put a lot of pressure on families. So if someone else is renting a home, but you're happening to live there, or maybe some kids are living out of their car, again, you know, I'm not sure where people are watching this from, but hopefully we'll have this on Facebook and YouTube. And if you're watching this, then this could be another $500 for you, you know, and this could really, really change the lives of a lot of people to have them get this money to go to school. So I really recommend you look into this and sign up in your account there. Anything you want to say about that?
I mean, it's possibly $1,500 for free. That's going to go towards college, and it's going to, no, it's definitely, like you said, if they have this, then most likely the chances of them to not only go to school but finish is going to dramatically improve.
Yeah, you know, I've seen a lot of programs that will cover tuition when you go to state schools, for example, or even UCs, but they don't always cover books. Yeah. You know, and books are, I mean, out of control. Like $150, $200 a book is what I'm seeing.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, pretty commonly. So, you know, this can be the make or break difference for students that are wanting to go to school, that maybe they got their tuition covered, but they can't afford books. This might be able to help them get through and get their books for the first year or two, possibly. So that could be great.
No, yeah, that's exactly, you know, most, you know, scholarships don't cover the books, which some professors, I hated this in college, they'll say, you have to buy this book and it's only made by me and it's $300. Like,
right.
Are you just trying to make some money off of me?
Yeah, that's a little bit kind of double dipping, right? They're getting paid for teaching the class and paid on their book, right? And they require it. So I remember that as well. So, you know, I'm not doing that, you're not doing that, but I've definitely seen that before. So, you know, these are all things that we got to watch out for these days. But for more information and to get registered, everybody should go to calkids.org. So let's jump over there real quick. Let's jump over there and see what this website looks like, because it's actually really easy to navigate. But I think sometimes people might get overwhelmed or not be sure. And so I think if we just do a quick screen share on this and we just go through it real quick, I think it'd be helpful for people. So let me jump over that just a moment here.
Okay. I'm assuming they've made it easy enough to, like, if you don't have a laptop, you could possibly do it on your phone.
Oh yeah, you can definitely do it on your phone. I think that would be no problem. So actually, let me see here. Let me switch this over to... This should do it. There we go. All right. So this is calkids.org. So if you want to find out information here, you can scroll through. It gives you some information. There's a nice video here. This 1 minute video gives you a good breakdown. But to get started, on the top right here, there's something that says get started. And then you can go right here to register your account. So when you go here to register your account, it tells you what you need. So it's your local registration number, which is on the child's birth certificate, or unique CalKIDS code on the letter that they're going to receive. So if you receive that letter, everything you need should be on there. Date of birth, and then name of the county where the child's birth was registered. So like I said, if your kid was just born, it says please follow up 90 days after the birth. And then to register, you'll need that SSID, the statewide student identifier, or the CalKIDS code, so either one of those. Date of birth, county where they're registered, and then all you do is go to this portal and do that. So you're going to create a username and a password, and then that's it. It's really that simple, and you should be able to see everything you need inside. If you want to open a 529 account to save more for college and start investing for college, you can use this ScholarShare 529 account. I actually looked, and let me see if I can drag this over here. I have all the fees for the investments in there, and that's something people get concerned about. And this might be, you know, a little bit more than we need to cover in this workshop here. But I'll tell you, I was actually pretty impressed by the cost of the program here, because it's actually pretty reasonable. The fees are very low. So when you look at the fees, we're looking at like 0.38% for the investment, and 0.07. So I would definitely recommend this as something to consider for California students. I looked a few years ago and the fees were a little higher. And so I usually would recommend people would go to Nevada or Utah to open up a 529, because in California, you do not get a tax deduction, unfortunately. We really should fight for a tax deduction for this, but we don't get one currently. But the fees are very, very low. So I think this could be a great program, and all you have to do is you know, pick a investment that matches up with the year that your kids are going to start college, and investments will do everything they need to do for you. So really not a lot to worry about there. But that's it. You know, it's it's pretty straightforward, pretty simple program overall. And so these are all things that if we just had more students starting early, saving a little bit of money, and planning ahead of time, I really think we could alleviate the student loan crisis that we're facing. And it all starts with education. You know, sometimes people don't know. And so, you know, I'm going to put up the email for the nonprofit in just a second in case anybody has other questions that they need help. But I don't know. What do you want to add, Josh? What are your thoughts?
Maybe a question that someone might be asking, like, what if my student, you know, like, I set this plan up for them for college, and then, like, the senior year of high school, they're like, Mom, Dad, I don't want to go to college. What happens there? Like, can they transfer that account into IRA, Roth IRA, or what would they have to do? Or they can use that money for something else, for their first house or something like that?
No, that's a good question. So the CalKIDS program, I believe, it can be used, by the way, for undergraduate, right? So let's say you have $1,000 in there and you need a new computer. Well, you can buy that your senior year. I believe so, in high school, possibly get a computer there. But let's say you don't do that, you graduate school, and now you're not going to college. Well, one option would be to change the designated beneficiary. So what that would mean is, let's say you have your oldest kid that decided not to go to college, and so you can't use this money for them. You can change the account over to your next kid, and they can use it. So you can switch that out. That would be one way to avoid any taxes or penalty.
Okay.
But let's say nobody's going to college, right? And let's say you've been putting money in a 529 account, you've been investing it, and let's say you put in $1,000 a year for 12 years. Let's just use that as an example. So you put in $12,000. You can get your $12,000 back, no taxes, no penalties of any sort, no problem. But if you listen to what we taught you and you actually invested the money over that 12 years, well, maybe that $12,000 turned into $24,000. So you're going to get your original deposits back with no tax and no fees. So that's great. But if you're not going to use it for any sort of school, then you will have to pay taxes on the $12,000 that you got in investment returns, plus a 10% penalty on that. So it could cost you a couple $1,000s, but that was money that was invested, so it wasn't your money you put in anyways. So you can still get the money back for the investments plus your original amount you put in, but you're going to have to pay taxes and a small penalty on the money that's above and beyond what you originally put in. But your money you'll get back that you put in.
That's perfect. If you're not going to go to college, you can give it to your next of kin. If not, a next student that's going to be going up to college. If not, then there's a penalty you might have to pay on the profit, but not on the original investment. Kind of like the Roth IRA when you pull it out before you're a certain age, right?
Yeah. Similar to that, and that's something you could do, by the way. Like, let's say, okay, you're not going to college, you have 20,000 in there. Well, maybe you cash out that account and you put that in your Roth IRA or your 401k. You could do that. At least you're starting to save somewhere. Yeah. And one last thing I want to recommend is to do this automatically, right? So when you sign up, if you're just going to put in, whether it's $50 a month, $100 a month, or $500 a month, whatever the number is for you, just set it up to be an automatic deposit, because the research shows that you're 19 times more likely to hit your goals if you automate them like that. So I would really like to see people just set it up, whatever they can afford today. It might be 20 bucks a month. Just, most people can do $20 to $50 a month. And, that might be one less meal at In-N-Out or whatever it may be. But this is going to be a much better sacrifice by giving up a little bit today to have your kids graduate ideally with no student loan debt and be debt-free when they graduate college. That is just such a beautiful thing, because they'll be able to take jobs that they're really passionate about if they don't necessarily pay as much, versus having to make decisions just because they have loan payments. That can really trap you in there and be, you think college was a gift, but it could really be a curse if you end up with $50,000 or $100,000 in student loan debt.
Yeah, no, definitely, I agree. And I know people that have over 100,000, and their decision into what job they're going to take is going to really, really determine, because they need to pay back these loans. So they're going to just do the highest paying job, but I don't know if it's the ones that they want the most. So
yeah, and hey, the best would be to have the benefit of both worlds, right? You get the high paying job and you're debt free, because then you could just start investing right away. That's great.
Exactly. Yeah.
But the unfortunate reality is the average student graduates with around $32,000, student loan debt. So if we can help at least one person graduate debt free because they started their savings plan, they opened their CalKIDS account, and they started putting money in today, then we did our job. So that's what I'd like to see.
We help destroy the student loan crisis, alleviate it a little bit, be able to help some people get into their first home because they don't have that big bill. And maybe even help with the credit card crisis right now that we're facing too, because a lot of people racking them in credit cards.
Yeah, well, that's what happens with the books that we talked about, right? The parents, if you're a parent, right? Let's think about the parents' perspective. They probably worked and didn't really, put their head up. They were working, then the kids are home from school, they're making dinner, getting people to do their homework, and then go to sleep. And that's what they did for 12 years, right? Where the kids all went through school, like high school and middle school and all that. Mm-hmm. But then you get to college, and then your kid gets in, and you're like, oh, great, they got a scholarship. Let's go to this school. Tuition's paid for. And then you realize it's $500 for books. Well, what's going to happen if you're already about to go to school, you go get your books a week before, and you're starting the next week, and now there's no money there to pay for that? Most people are going to put that on a credit card.
Yeah.
So we could be avoiding credit card debt in the future about this. And there's so many benefits to starting early and planning early. And this is a new program. Like I said, I'll give California credit where credit's due. It's a great way to help students get started, and it's free. It's automatic, and all you got to do is register your account.
Yeah, I mean, if they're automatically depositing, but they have to register their account, right? It's not like they just can access the funds whenever. They have to register the account, set it up.
Well, the funds will be there technically, but to access it, yeah, you have to register your account so that you can apply it to wherever it's going to go.
Okay, cool.
Plus, you're going to get that extra $25 just for registering.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like you said, it takes you like 5 to 15 minutes.
It seems really fast. It's name, password, and putting your SSID in, and that's it. So it should be pretty easy.
No, I think this is a great program for any family that's watching. I think every family that's watching should definitely do this for either their newborns, or if you qualify under low to moderate income, which most of the people that we serve definitely would qualify. LAUSD, Montebello USD, all of those.
Yeah, I think it's 99% of the people we serve do qualify for that. So on that note, I'm going to throw up this. Actually, let me switch this back here. I'm going to throw up the email. Okay. If anybody has any questions and they can't find the answers or they get stuck, they can send an email to info@idealcdc.com. If you have any other questions, like how much should you save for college and things like that, feel free to send us an email. We'll be happy to get you set up with the right resources. But what we want to do here at the nonprofit is be a bridge. We don't have all the answers, we don't have all the resources, but we can usually direct you to the right place. So we're here for you. We want everybody that's watching to know that we're here for you. We want to help you out. We want to help you plan. And Josh, you want to talk about any other workshops you have coming up or anything else that might be beneficial before we wrap up for today?
We have a couple of workshops that are coming up. Every week we do our advancing news, where we talk about different things that's going on in the world with finance and some tips, and we just cover some recent things that are going on with things that you might want to know about, like stuff we talk about like with inflation, with the Federal Reserve, housing, a lot of interesting topics. And sometimes we talk about resources and stuff. We do that usually every Thursday, and if you can't catch it on Thursday, it's on our page you can watch it whenever. And our founder, Reverend Carlos Rincon, he's going to be doing a lot more videos in Spanish as well, talking about why we started the nonprofit, talking about the importance. He just did a workshop yesterday about the importance about having a bank account, and because we serve a lot of people that don't have bank accounts, and there's a lack, from the bank and the person. There's no connection right there. So we want to be that bridge to connect you to those resources. And just catch us on Facebook and YouTube. We're doing our very best to post as the highest quality as possible content for all of you guys that are watching, English and Spanish. And if you have any suggestions, you can let us know. Any video ideas, anything you want to go over, any questions, like Jason said, you could email us, or you can put a comment in the comment section on YouTube or Facebook. And that's all from me.
Awesome. Well, it's awesome hanging out with you, dude. We look forward to doing more of these. I really want to try to help more people and really get people on the right track with their finances. So looking forward to it. And like I said, if you guys have any other questions, feel free to reach out. But other than that, we'll see you next time. Have a great day.
Wow, what a great program. If you have kids or you plan to have kids, this is the program for you. Honestly, this is a great way for you to save for your kids, so to be able to save and invest for them, for their future, so they can have, the opportunity to go to college, whatever college they want to go to, especially if you're able to save a good amount for them. This is an opportunity that I didn't have, a lot of people don't have, but now you can give that to your kids. take advantage of it, especially if you just sign up, if you do all these like things that we went over with me and Jason that we talked about. It's, 50 bucks here, $20 here, and then 100 bucks here, 500 bucks. Like, it can all add up. It all adds up, and it's all can go to your kids' future. Be sure to share this with your friends and family. We will be doing this workshop again very soon, but in Spanish, okay? Because I know it's important that we cover it in Spanish as well, because I know a lot of you guys also speak Spanish, and you have a lot of friends that speak Spanish. So we'll be doing this workshop in Spanish very soon. Thank you again, and take care.